Hey, today I want to talk about how to actually start a solopreneur agency, making upwards to 30K a month.
And if you're still curious who I actually am, me and my boyfriend Julian scaled our first business to 40K a month, and that was without a team and without any overhead cost. Until now, we are at 120K per month for our business creators training that generated over $2 million in the process. And that's also when we hired our first team members. And now we're teaching this method to people just like you, starting out from little scratch without a team.
Check this out, guys. 10K in contract value for her agency, 16K in contract value for his agency. So let's jump into it. And I also got myself a matcha from my Gojek here in Bali, so we can dive really deep into why I think solopreneur agencies are the best business model for anyone to begin with. What I really like about it is that you actually keep all the profits in your business, and you also don't have to actually manage a full team or think about paying salaries, which a lot of people find very draining, and you don't have that responsibility of actually managing that team, which then in return gives you actually more freedom to do whatever you want. And now I actually want to break it down in 4 different things. So the first thing we're going to cover is the different skills that you could actually offer. You might be wondering what is even in demand. The second thing we'll go over is the 2 different business models you can use as a solo entrepreneur, because there is a big difference. The third thing we're going to go over is all these different roles that you might need to cover. That's super important to understand that, to be able to deliver the best results for your clients. And then the last thing we're going to go over is how to get a massive competitive advantage. So in my opinion, the best skills that anyone can offer nowadays is something in design, such as, website building, or funnels and landing pages.
What are you working
what's
on?
up? Yeah, so I'm working on my client's funnel right here, and she's a celebrity vocal coach.
Then we also have marketing, which includes Google ads, Facebook ads, and something like SEO or social media marketing. Basically anything that helps a business generate more leads and turn more of these leads into actual paying clients. And that's just a skill that's always in demand, since helping businesses make more profit, make more income is always something that is a no-brainer offer for any company. If you can offer me, for example, hey Jenny, I can make you 10 grand extra this month if you work with me just by managing your social media or running SEO ads, I would say yes, sign me up. Then we also have a lot of great skills that you can offer in the content niche. So that would include content, something like writing, copywriting, creating content, managing content like posting on social media, helping streamline the whole process, planning a whole content campaign to drive more leads and sales. So planning. And lastly, editing. Like anyone and everyone right now on social media, if you haven't noticed, needs people to edit their content. All the brands are moving towards branding, so they need someone who can help them edit videos, because most likely these business owners don't have time to sit in front of their computer editing a video, because they need to focus on actual high-level strategy, branding, getting leads, getting sales, editing. Boom. And then we have my personal favorite, operations. Which includes something like managing a customer success system, CS systems. And that's things such as streamlining how someone gets onboarded and setting up all the automations. And that brings me to the next thing, which is actually setting up automations in businesses. Then we also have hiring. So if you can help hiring talent every business needs great talent, and trust me, since I own multiple businesses, I am struggling with hiring always. So if you come in and you tell me I can find you the best talent, I'm like, yes, 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 yes. The next thing is actually AI, which is up and coming. So if you can offer services in AI, automation, that is just a huge thing currently, and all the businesses are jumping on that wave and actually need to jump on that wave because they're gonna get left behind if they aren't. And then it could also be something like sales training. And what helping with operations does most of the time is it takes off work of the employees of the company so that the employee, the CEO, have more time to focus on making more sales. So this is an invaluable skill and an invaluable offer that you can bring to the table when it comes to building your first solo agency. Now let's jump into the two different business models that you can choose from when you're first starting your agency. And the first one is called solo agency. And then the second one that you can start is what I call an extended agency. And to understand this, we need to first look at what the actual roles and jobs are that a one-person army would need to execute on. In a solo agency, there's 3 different roles that you need to cover. The first one is the executor. The second one is the, a bigger one, client manager. And the third one is the CEO. Now the executor is actually responsible to do the work. The client manager is basically the manager, front-facing. Manager talks to clients and makes sure projects are getting done on time. So I would call it a planning role or something like a project manager, basically. And then we have the CEO, and that is obviously big vision, growth. Let's write that down. Growth, sales, vision. Now in a one solo agency, you will need to execute on all of these things. So you're 3 different roles in one. This is very good for anybody who gets insanely bored doing the same tasks every single day. Maybe you just don't like talking to clients every single day. So then you're like, okay, let's just go all in on sales and marketing. And then the next day you're like, okay, now I want to have a month of literally just designing websites. So that's a really fun part about having a solo agency and working as a single army, as I call it. The other reason why I think this is really great is if you don't like responsibility, because I can tell you from running creators training, Sales God, Leilani Sheld, having a team is a huge responsibility. And I can kind of like describe it as having multiple children to take care of, because you need to make sure that all of these people in your company have constant support and get all the benefits and resources from you to be able to grow and accomplish their goals and their visions. So this could be very stressful for someone who doesn't like to have so much responsibility and just wants a lot of freedom, because having a team decreases your freedom. You can't just like go take off for like a whole month and do nothing. So this is what I like about being the one-person army, basically. And I also recommend it for anyone who likes to control their outcome. For example, for me, when I first started getting into online business and designing, it was really hard for me to let go of my work, because I trust myself. I know I'm doing the best work I can, and it always looks 150% doper than anyone else that the clients would work with. But once you have a team, you have to let go of that control. And most likely your work will also decrease a little bit, or the output that you generate, because if you have a team, they will do some of the work. And if you like to control the outcome, then this is definitely for you, being a one-person army, a solo agency. So again, the pros are freedom, time, and control. Now, what are the hard parts? You might find it really hard to juggle all of these roles. Being a executor, client manager, and CEO at the same time. What happens most of the time that I see with the clients we work with, people would neglect sales for a month and then they would jump into design for too long. And that is a little bit difficult. So you need to be able to manage your time properly. Time. Don't neglect. Don't neglect. And the result of this is actually, what I've seen is, for a whole month you focus on sales, you get 5-6 sales. And for example, Jean, he is landing like 6K clients, 12K clients, clockworks for like a whole month. And then I don't hear anything from him, because then he needs to execute on the projects he's doing. So then there's probably a whole month where he doesn't have time to do consistent sales, marketing, growth for his company, his solo agency. And that is where he really needs to focus on set time periods where you're like, okay, this is the time where I'm focusing on sales, this is the time where I'm focusing on projects, and this is the time where I am focusing on marketing and sales. And what you're probably all wondering right now is, how much can you make as a solo agency? And I have seen anything and everything from my clients. For example, Lissa, she started out as a solo agency, 10-20K a month. Emily, for example, solo agency, started out doing, I think her first client that I helped her win was an 18K project. After that, 2 other 10K projects. So I would say as a solo agency, what's really realistic is something in between 10 to 20K a month. I would rather say something like 10-15, because if you get let's say an 18K project like Emily, that is like a 1 to 2 month full-on project. So then if you break it down to actually month by month, I would say like a 10-14 grand a month is very realistic as a solo agency. And that is actually enough to live an insane lifestyle. I am personally living in Bali, and I could probably make 100 million, but the lifestyle doesn't change. Literally, if you make 5K, I live the same lifestyle as some of my friends in the gym that I meet. They have a lot of millions in their bank account, and I'm always surprised because we go to the same restaurant, we drive the same shitty scooter, we have a nice little villa in Bali, Indonesia, and the prices don't really change. So that is the great thing, thinking about like, oh shit, like 10K doesn't seem that much. It is a lot if you live in the right place. Now let's move on to the next part, which is the extended agency. And it's super simple. It's basically hiring contractors. And what I like about that is that you don't actually have a team. You work with people on contract basis or project basis, which takes a lot of the pressure off of you. So if you don't have work for your contractors right now, you're not obligated to pay a fixed salary, even though you're not making money. And for that business model, we have one person as the executor that just does the work. And in my community, Creators Training, we have a lot of people like, I remember Erica, Johan and Justin, they actually created an agency where one of them is responsible for sales, one of them is responsible for the execution, and one of them is more the visionary and is obligated to do lead generation and growth. So you have different people in all these 3 different roles. So you are usually, I mean, hopefully you are the CEO of that company and you outsource. My God, my painting is getting a little bit messy, but let's use this. you are outsourcing to a manager who basically talks to clients for you, makes sure the project gets delivered on time. But you can also be both of these roles together. But most people that start out, they are kind of the front-facing client manager and the CEO. And then they hire an executor. And in, for example, web design, you hire someone who builds funnels, websites on Figma and Framer. And you basically just get the clients in, close the projects 5, 10, 20K, and then hand it off to the executor. Now you're probably wondering, how do I know what I should do? So there's a few different things that might happen for you where, let's say you don't like sales or you don't like design. And then you can go and outsource what you don't like to someone who actually loves it, and therefore increase your output and increase your income. Now let's recap. The plus is that you have no responsibilities. Then you also have no obligation to pay salary. You still keep your freedom. You increase your earning opportunity, so you can focus more on sales, so more sales. And my favorite, the last one, is actually doing what you love. What you love. All right, and here is how you actually outsource the work step by step. First, you want to sit down and create a process. That process can be mapped out on Notion, for example, or any project management tool. My whole company and all my clients are using Notion to create a schedule for when does the process need to be done? How does the process work? And for example, let's say a web design. So you create a process on how exactly the web design outline needs to be. A header, a hero section, an image here, benefits, pain points, and that you'll put in a process. Then step 2 is to give that proven process to the contractor. Give to contractor. And that is literally as simple as it is. You create the process, you hand it off to somebody else, they execute on it, and you just make sure that the quality of work is up to your standards. And this actually just reminded me of Lisa, who's in our community running an extended agency for herself. So she started out funnel designing and offering funnel design to clients' web design. As a solo agency, she was making 10, 12K a month. And then she started actually selling bigger packages, branding, sales, funnel design, marketing. And with that, she was now able to build an extended agency because she was able to charge 10, 20 for each client and then outsource the work to an executor. For example, I know she worked with Emily, for example, who's amazing at web design, and just hands off the work to her. So she doesn't have to do the work, but she still bags 90% of the income, but still pays Emily 5K. But she keeps, let's say, 20K. So this is super worth it. And honestly, it's just a win-win for everybody, because Emily wouldn't have landed that client if Lisa wouldn't have gotten the client in the first place. Now let's go over how you actually get a strategic advantage against all the competition out there and make yourself unique, make yourself stand out and land all these clients that are just waiting for you to help them out. The first thing I would recommend is to niche down. Basically specialize at one thing and one thing only, which will weed out all the other people that are basically generalists offering everything and anything to anybody, which a lot of people actually do. So you will get a massive advantage. For example, Emily, she niched down to help relationship coaches with funnel design, marketing and ads and getting more leads in. And was landing insane amount of clients because she's just focusing on that one specific thing. And there's no one else out there that is just helping relationship coaches. And then the next example is actually a little bit crazy, which I personally love. It's Rocky, who niched down to help tree care businesses create landing pages that convert more leads into sales and helps them with ads. So who would have thought that working with contractors in the tree care industry is such a profitable niche? So niching down has actually made them the only option to go to when someone like a tree care business or a relationship coach is looking to get help. Now, the second thing that will give you an absolute massive advantage that a lot of our clients are doing is relationship building. So relationship building and partnering up. Partnering up. And what that means is you build relationships with people who are, for example, in a non-competing niche, but still in the same area, like digital marketing, for example. So let's say I'm a web designer or funnel designer. Who could I partner up with? I could partner up with companies that offer SEO, companies that offer Facebook ads, because I just design the landing pages, but it's still a big part of the process. So for example, the clients that I would bring in, I could refer them back to the Facebook ad agency, and all the clients that the Facebook ad agency brings in could refer these clients to me, and I'll build them an insane funnel. And if you build this win-win relationship, you don't need to go out there and land client after client begging them to pay you. No, you get clients like crazy every single day. You'll get a referral. Then the third thing that I think is insanely important nowadays is branding, because what you gotta realize, branding, I can't write today, is that people buy you. They don't necessarily buy only the work. So it's a combination of trusting you and looking at your work. So let's say you do offer me Facebook advertising. What I would look at is, first of all, how much money have you managed so far on Facebook ads and what ROI did you get other clients? So that is the one part. I look at the work. Is there proof in the footing? Then the other part is, do I trust you as the person to execute on? Do I like working with you? And how can you build that trust? It's through branding, showing up consistently, teaching me about the newest strategies, and making you the only option that I can trust moving forward. So that is a huge one, branding yourself on Instagram. And now if you're scared, thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna be so bad, I don't have any followers, I'm so bad in camera. I sucked in my first videos. I was horrible. Maybe I can blend something in here, but this is me talking 5 years ago.
And guide you through a step-by-step process that reveals all the secrets on how to get from.
And I mean, you see me now, this is me right now. I was laughing so hard watching this. Also, you don't need a lot of followers to make a lot of money. So for example, Emily just started her YouTube channel. She only has 40 subscribers now, but from these 40 subscribers, most of them paid her a good amount of money. So you actually don't need a ton of subscribers or followers if your main goal is to just nurture the people that come onto the channel, that you maybe give some free resources to, and they start trusting you. They want to work with you, they want to book a call with you, they want to get your solutions because you just share genuinely how you help people and give valuable tips. And let's be honest, I would rather have 10 followers or subscribers that actually are genuinely interested in working with me, that I can help out, than a million that aren't. And now let's do the fourth thing, which is testimonials and social proof. Let's write that down, testimonials and social proof. Because what is the first thing you look at? let's say you looked at my company and you were actually interested in like, what is this girl doing? Is she a scam? Is she real? Does she actually give people like results? Does it work? The first thing you look at is social proof. Do people say it's legit? Do people say they got the results that were promised? Did people actually get the product? For Shopify, for example, if you have an e-commerce store, did the order arrive? Was it good or bad quality? So that is very important that you build that up with your first clients. And what I usually recommend there is, if you haven't done any work so far, is a free to fee client. So you work for them for free on the first project in return for a testimonial. And then afterwards, they love your work and then they're gonna start paying you for the next projects, but you also get that social proof. Because I can tell you from my own experience, when I'm hiring for creators training, the only thing I really look at is the work and the portfolio that you show me. Is your work good? So I'm gonna show you a quick example on what I usually do with my clients, so you can kind of have an overview of what I am looking for as a business owner who would hire you or hire your agency. So for example, here's what we give to my clients. Usually it's a portfolio template, and here is the work that we usually link, and that's what you want to build up for your own agency, showing off like the funnels that you build or the conversions that you generated for other businesses. You need to have a solid portfolio set up showcasing your work. And now the last thing I want to give you on the way to get a competitive advantage is to actually price your services high. Because let's be honest, projects that are just $100, $200, it's literally not worth your time. You want to charge between 2K to 18K per project. And that is where you gain massive amounts of time freedom and just peace. Because let's be honest, I would much rather work with 2 5K clients instead of 10 1K clients, because that's just way more stressful. And I really want to make sure that my work is the best. So focusing on not a lot of clients to give them the best result versus focusing on a lot and just like not being able to deliver the best work. It's not worth it to me. It's not worth it for you. So pricing yourself high, and you probably wonder like, what the heck? Like, how can I charge 18K? Like 5K? Like nobody would pay me that. Let's jump into the community so I can show you that it is possible, and it is literally just a mental thing where you're like, oh my God, like I would have never believed that this is possible. So let's jump into it. Come. Cool. So I'm in our creators training community, and literally just 3 days ago, Brandon landed a $2,300 client. She landed 6,000. Holy shit, that's sick. 6,800 for a simple funnel design, like literally the funnel that I just showed you. So we usually give people like the templates. Here are our templates, something like that. They use it and they are able to charge that much for it. So I love this. Then Brandon, another 5K, like it's literally like clockwork, clients coming in. And this is Note a solo agency. Rocky has, I think, 1 assistant, but they're just helping with like branding and video editing. 6K per month, 12K in contracts, 1,700 client, first client, $500, 6,630. 8.7K, 398 cash collected, non-refundable deposit, 1,500, 500, 1,500, 30% profit, 10K, 16K, 1,500, 1,200, 5,100, 1K, 10K, 3,800, 4K, 500, 2K, $150 per hour. Like, that is insane. So you get the point. There's so much opportunity out there. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you're still confused, if you want some more help with deciding on like what you actually want to do, which agency you want to build, or if you even want an agency, you can feel free to book a call below. I would love to help you out. I would love to talk to you and see how I can I guess like what I can give you on the way to get that roadmap for your unique case. So if you want that, you can click the button below, but if not, like I really hope you just found this insanely valuable and you have a little bit of a better understanding about solo agencies, scaling, and what you want to do. Have a wonderful day, of course. Ginormous amount of coffee. Yum.